All right, as we do the IKEA section kitchen renovation, one side is almost done. This side is next. I'm going to show you how to put together this Tornviken, if that's how you say it, part number 003.590.27. And it's this cabinet here. It's a little thin one. And that is going to go up against the wall. And then the stoves go in here, and then the above the stove cabinet. So we're coming over 9 inches with this piece, and then we're gonna start with the rest of the kitchen. So let's open this baby up and see what we have. Now, as you see, they got these don't use a knife mark to cut this open here, probably because the panel's exposed, so they'll slice right into it with something like this. So what you want to do is just slice underneath here to get it started, and then use your hand to rip open the rest, like so. It's not too bad. And then you take all that press board out. So let's get started. Get all the pieces out, and we'll go over it. Okay, so here we go. We have all the pieces kind of like semi-ready. And an important note to this is there's a couple different ways to build this. And there's always, sometimes there's a skip page on IKEA cabinet stuff, depending on how you want to put it together. So there's the scalloped bottle holders that we're not going to do on a cabinet. We're going to have a door instead. And so basically, if you're going to use the bottle holders, these scallop things, the bottle end panels, then you're going to start with the next step as you're going through, the page that itemizes everything. And that's what these little pins are for. Now, they're different than these cam pins here. For those of you who have put IKEA furniture together, this would be familiar. These are your basic cam pins, okay? And these are the cam locks. So let's go over the parts also. So what I noticed is these cam locks are plastic instead of metal. So I don't know if they alternate or from now on they're going to start giving you plastic. Feels like plastic. We have billions of dowels, which increases the structural integrity of the cabinet. We have wood screws. We have nails to nail the panel, that little skinny thing, this. All right. That's the back panel. We have spaces. This goes on the bottom of the cabinet in the back to keep it away from the wall, equal to where you're gonna, to keep the space equal. These will be the top mounts to screw into the wall, and these go over it in the back. So this is not gonna hang on a rail like the other section cabinets, but what it is going to be semi-supported by a cabinet that is on the rail, and you're gonna screw them into each other. That's how it works. These are flanges for when you put the screw in the upper inside corner. And then we have pan heads. You see the head's different than a wood screw. Wood screw is tapered, so it kind of countersinks into the wood or the product. And the pan head is made to stay outside of the surface. So I think that's it for all the, just not too sure what that is, but it'd probably be easy to figure out. So I'm going to do the jump page, because we're not going to put in these little scalloped bottleneck holders. So if you were to do this, you would put in, again, these mini cam pins. And you would put them as indicated in the middle holes of all these little panels. So As far as tools needed, I like using my Milwaukee M12 driver. This is a favorite. Probably have seen these in my other videos. And you can adjust the power on top here. So I always keep it on light so I don't destroy the furniture as I'm putting in the cam pins and such. Also a screwdriver, Phillips head. It's nice to have a multi one that does flat end Phillips, or just have those separate dedicated drivers. Not too sure if you need a hammer with this, but they do show it on the page. So what we're going to do is lay out all the small panels and put in the dowels. Also, on another note, these are the 4 shelves in the middle, and what we're going to put all the dowels in, and those 2 are the top and bottoms. All right, you see one has a little slot for the back panel and one doesn't. All right, these are finished actually on both sides on the ends. So we're going to start by putting in the dowels in the end holes on both sides of each panel. Okay, so this is probably what they want you to use the hammer for, so you can put the dowels in and hammer them in lightly. I'm just getting them started and I'll bang them in. Alright, they're going about that far. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Again, these dowels help with the structural integrity of the cabinet itself, so I'm going to finish with the other 3 panels and then we'll continue from there. Okay, so I have all those panels, all 4, with the dowels in, stacked on top of each other, and I laid out the 2 main panels with the back panel slots facing each other. And if you notice, right in the middle, and there's only 1 hole in the middle of each panel, that is where we're going to put a regular cam pin. Okay, remember these other little mini cam pins are only if you're going to do the scalloped end panels. So we're going to put one of these here and one there. And like always, I like using my driver on low power. So which is 1 on this Milwaukee. And we're going to drive these babies in. So you can see. Of course, you can use a regular screwdriver. Okay, and you do it into the flange of the pin. Just seats against the board. You don't want to put it in super duper tight, ram it. Okay, on low power. This goes nice and gentle. All right, you might hear a click. Okay, so now we have those pins in. And then we're going to put a panel. Now, they have a note that you see it as the 3 holes. 1, 2, 3. They're going to face towards the little slot that they have cut out where we're going to slide in the back panel. So we're going to take one of these. Okay, see these? There's 3 holes only on one side. So when we insert them, the whole side is going to be on the same side of the slot. That is muy importante. Okay? All right, so we have all the dowels in the 4 panels. Now, I must tell you that there's a special panel here. And out of these 4, there's one that will take a cam pin and a cam. All right? All the others are the same. Let's put these here. And of course, you have your panels, the main panels laid out with the slots facing each other. Okay? And we're going to take the one and only shelf that has the cam pin hole and the cam. We're going to use that to put in the middle. And these 3 dots, the 3 holes, which are on all the other ones too, will be on the same side as the slot. Okay? All right, so those 3 dots are facing towards the slot. We're going to slide this over the cam pin, and then we're going to make sure the dowel holes line up with the dowels and push down. Okay, and make sure it's seated. And here's the cam pin. So what we're going to do is lock that cam pin with a cam, and we're going to do the same with all the other panels. All right, so this is where the slotted screwdriver comes in handy. Flip this around. Okay, and if you look on the cam, it has an arrow. All right, and that arrow faces down towards the board that it's connecting to. It won't go in. It shouldn't go in any other way. And then you do a quarter turn, or until it gets snug. Could be a half turn. Okay, that's nice and snug. All right. And then the other ones, they don't get locked in like that, but the holes are going to face the same way as these triple holes. All right. So there you go. All right. And then we'll get up and do a pan. All right, by the way, anytime you're assembling IKEA furniture and you're putting the cam pins in, and especially if you're barefoot, you really have to be careful, because if you step on that, oh my God, that's going to hurt, really hurt. All right, so let's continue on. We have all the panels in. Now we're going to flip this over and make sure this cam pin goes into this hole. And of course, it'd be great if you had a helper, but if you don't, just be really careful. So we're going to flip this over. All right. Take up a little less space. Just line that up. All right. Okay. So what we're going to do is just try and line up the panels with the dowels. Jiggle them, all of them, as you tap down. They should decently line up. Okay. If you want, you can flip this up to make it a little bit easy to put the other cam pin in. So we're going to grab one of those, arrow facing towards the board it's connecting to, push it in, take a screwdriver, and guess what? This one's a little bit too long, so it'd probably be a good idea to get a short flathead driver. And so I'm going to have to go through my box, and we'll come back to that step in a second. All right, found my shorty, little stubby flathead, and we're going to go in there and finish that turn. There you go. Don't force it. I'll double check the other one. Yeah, that's tight. All right. So we're looking at the back. That's where the panel's going to slide into. So we did that. And now we're going to get ready to put the top and the bottom on. So we're going to put cam pins in these locations. Notice one of these has a slot and one doesn't, the top and bottom. They're over there. Okay, and then we're going to put dowels in here. And of course the dowels go in smaller holes. All right, and we're going to do the dowels on both sides, and the cam pins go on the top and bottom plates. And let's take a look at it. Make sure you know where to put them, because there's lots of holes here. Okay, so the cam pins will go on the outer holes of both panels. So that's these, the outer, 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 outer one, outer one, outer one, outer one. Okay? So we're going to start putting those in. We'll do the dowels on this, and then we'll take it to the next step. But let's see. Let's hammer in a dowel here so you know. Okay. Use my Kung Fu grip to put them in by hand. Middle holes also. You want the cabinet to be strong. Okay, and we hammer those in. All right, we're going to do that to the other side of that, and then we can get on with the cam pins here. Okay, keep going. All right, so we have the cam pins on both of these, and we have the dowels. 3 on each side, on the top and bottom. By the way, if you're asking, like, what would be the top and bottom on this, being that we're not using the scalloped pieces, all right, it doesn't make a difference. But if you are using the scallop pieces, that would be what would be different in the instructions. There is a front and there is a back. Actually, the nice finished part is the front, and the unfinished part is the back. And being that we're not using the scallop panels, that's why we have the holes in the back, so you don't see them when the cabinet is up. By the way, I think I might have mentioned there was going to be a door in there. There's not. It's just going to be open shelf, so I don't know why I said that. So let's move on to the next step. All right, again, this is a wee bit different than if you were going to do the scalloped bottle end panels, end pieces there. So we're going to do that instead. And let's take this, and we're going to put this like that, and then place this on top of that. And then we're going to put the cam pins in. All right. Okay. I think we got it in. Looks like the slots are lining up. And then we're going to just push down. Push down on both sides. Looks like it's seated on both sides. Maybe that had to go down a little bit. And then we're going to put in 2 cams on each side. Arrow facing down, but you can like feel, you can get an idea. Once you put in like a billion of these, you'll know just by feeling the back. This faces down towards the board. So you want it to get it ready to grab the pin and lock. You can feel the board go in a little bit. All right. Sometimes you can use the screwdriver to push it in all the way. These plastic ones feel a little bit more, they feel like they have better structural integrity compared to the metal ones. So I don't know if they're going to keep using these for like all of the furniture that has the cam and pin. But it does feel like it's less likely to strip, which I've had a couple of these almost go slightly bad. Okay. All right, that's the front. Looking nice. Spinning around. I think the next step is to put the back panel in. Yeah, so we're going to slide in the back panel, and then we're going to put the other piece on. And again, if you don't have these scallops, then there's no top or bottom with the cabinet. But if you did do it this way, I don't know if you'll be watching this for the bottle ends, the bottle holder ends or not, but because it's probably close. The knees will all be facing up. So let's slide the panel in. Doesn't appear to be a top or bottom. Okay, so here we go. We just line it up with the slots. Push it all the way down. And you're gonna have to jiggle it until it seats fully. Yeah, this is not going down all the way, so I see it's off a little bit. So we got a little problemo. So I'm gonna jiggle this a bit. because this is not supposed to be sticking up here at all. Okay, it's supposed to be flush with this. Because the other panel doesn't have the slot. It's just kind of like a cap to keep it from moving. So we're going to jiggle around with this a bit and see. And what I'm going to do is just loosen these cam pins on both sides. And maybe that'll get it to fall in place. Yeah, there we go. So now it fell into the slot. It's even. And don't forget to retighten the cams if you did that trick that I just did. Double check and tighten. Okay. So looking good so far. All right, and then we're going to put the top on, and then the rest is mounting instructions. Now, this is made to be an upper cabinet, and depending on if you're going to sandwich it in between a couple of cabinets or it's going to be on the end, there's different instructions, okay? And that's where we're going to put in these inserts so you can hang the cabinet. All right, but first I'm going to put the top on and we're going to secure it. So almost a little cranky here. All right, now this hangs over the edge a little bit. Don't be alarmed when you see that, thinking that you put it on the wrong way. Oh, look at that, we got a little chip there. That stinks. All right, so we got those in, and we're gonna put in the cams. Remember that they're not gonna face down, we're gonna face up towards what you're pulling on with the pin, okay? So the arrow's gonna be facing up, and then you spin them in. Actually gotta push them in a bit. There we go. All right, so here is the cabinet, fully mounted, just about, and it's sandwiched against the outside wall and the cabinet, and of course all these cabinets are hanging on a rail, so a good deal of the support for this cabinet is from this because it's screwed through. As you'll see, here's a screw here, there's a screw there, and maybe there's a couple others in the back. All right, and of course through the back top I put a couple of screws, but it didn't hit any studs, not that I know of, so a good deal of it is on this. And I also have one more screw that I'm going to put in through here. Now we have a considerable amount of space. As you see, this is a filler. It's a filler piece to fill the gap. And the reason why this is so far away from the wall is, as I showed you in the beginning of the video, the wall is curved, and I couldn't get the cabinet pushed back again against the wall, and this, I totally ripped the wall apart. And plus this wall is at an angle, and then the wall is coming out this way, so made it really, really challenging. But anyway, I just wanted to show you how it looks installed as an end cabinet. Okay, and of course, as you see here, it's part of the cabinets that surround the stove. Now, the only thing that's slightly off is the design looks a little bit different. You see the cams over here compared to the panel that is against this cabinet. Now, as you see, I have a panel that divides these two cabinets kind of as a filler piece, and to make it even with the gray color, because if that panel's not there, you're gonna see white, because the cabinets are white themselves. So there you go. And by the way, we're about 95% done with the kitchen. I'll just do a quick scan. And so here's one side. Okay, we got the big giant tall cabinet. This is the smaller side. Just done with the tiling here. And then here is the big side. Okay. And we got the tiles up, but it's not grouted. Most of the tiles up. We got to put in some filler pieces here. So anyway, sorry for just straying away, but here's what the cabinet looks like. And as you notice, I didn't put in all the shelves. I just put in the two middle ones, so we have it tall enough to put in, you know, some olive oil and oil bottles, and then to fit cookbooks right there. And of course, we're not using the scallops for the wine bottle application. So there you go. I hope this video helped. I got lots of other videos on Ikea installs and cabinets and tool reviews, so appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.